Hey, this is Learning Again with Truly Writer. Again, Truly Jacob Writer is my pen, writing, and media name only, so you probably won't see my face. So we're going to continue with Big Thoughts for Little People, ABCs to Help You Grow by Kenneth N. Taylor. So, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, Ephesians 4:32. So, and again, the Living Bible is the one they say this goes to. This is the adult version, not the kids version. So, Ephesians 4:32. Instead, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God has forgiven you because you belong to Christ. So as you can see, the kids version does not have the full verse. Unless the kids version of the Bible, if there is one, again, if I am going to review this, I really need stuff for free because, I can't afford to review everything. So the last video was long because I went on a tangent. So here we go, letter G. Again, there is no audio for this. So how do I know that I'm pronouncing words and letters the right way? I do not. So if you have parents or adult authority figures in your life and they spoke a certain way, well, then just because they spoke a certain way doesn't mean they pronounced everything properly. So you can create a whole society where you're not speaking properly because you're not going by the real audio to pronounce everything properly. So G is for God. He's our Father above. He made you and likes you and shows you his love. God lives in heaven far above the sky, but he is also here with us. Can you see God in the picture? No, we can't see him, but he can see us. He loves us and always wants to help us. He made the earth and the sky and the flowers and everything there is. But even though he is so great and strong, he thinks about us all the time. He wants us to think about him and love him too. So, no God in the pictures. Okay. So what's coming to mind is if you teach a child about Santa Claus and you teach them to believe that Santa Claus is real and they grow up believing it because of the stories and everything, and they find out the truth that Santa Claus isn't real, then they're devastated. So if God, the Father, and Jesus are under the false religion category, well, if you teach a child that they're real and they love you and they care about you, and then one day it's like, oh, all these principles in this religion didn't work, then it leaves that child that grew into an adult completely devastated because they're like, everyone lied to them or told them a false truth or gave them misinformation. So, a better moral to probably put here is, okay, this is how you know adults love you. This is how you know authority figures love you. This is how you know that people care about you. Okay, so who made the flowers? Well, they're going to tell you God did. Well, unless you saw God make the flowers, how do you know? Unless there's science to back up that God made the flowers, how do you know that God made the flowers? Because don't you need evidence? Where is God? Can you see him? Can he see you? So in heaven in different versions of the Bible that I read, it referred to, the sky. And then you read other books, and they're like, heaven is gonna come through Orion's belt, and then it's gonna be put down here on Earth. And it's like, well, is heaven a spaceship? How do you take a whole land structure and then bring it down to Earth and put it on top of other land to be like, oh, here's heaven? Like, so there are different philosophies and theories about what heaven is. So I don't know, and I have no scientific evidence to support either claim. So, does God love you? Do you love him? Well, I used to think I had a personal relationship with God, but I don't know. And then on YouTube, I did find the song that God is a girl only. So, these false Bibles that you have, they say that, everyone was made in the image of God, to be like God in some way, was what I got implied. And it was like to be a girl and a boy, and that completed God. And so, but the people taught me that was like a man and a woman. Well, it's like, well, you literally only have one gender in those two words, or male and female. It's one gender in those two words. So it's like, it's really supporting the philosophy that, oh yeah, God, whoever God is, may have a gender issue, and it's okay for a man to uh, 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 like basically clone himself, or clone a man and be like, here's a girly version of yourself, and you can look like a girl or a boy. And so I don't support that. So it's kind of hard to believe that, uh, since there is no scientific evidence to support that, a girl's genetics is completely different than, a boy's genetics. Because it's like everyone came from Adam and Eve. It's kind of hard to believe that, God actually loves you if that is the false religion, where it's like everyone has the same genetics and they all came from Adam and Eve. I'm sorry, I don't know how to believe that. So if there is a different religion where, hey, here's a story, or here's another religion that is true, and, someone copied different things from this religion, and then they got super drunk for some reason, and all the false Bibles that I have are like the warped drunk versions of information of like the true religion, then it's like, oh yeah, that would make logical sense. So a drunk person wrote the story. They weren't thinking clearly, and somehow they were able to write all these stories down. Or they spoke curses over the story somehow, if there's like power to speak blessings or cursings while they were super drunk. They like spoke curses over the true stories, or the right Bible stories with like extreme 100% positivity to help you understand negativity or whatever. And it got so bad that it's like everyone came from Adam and Eve, or they definitely weren't speaking with comprehension when everything got messed up. So I wonder what the more truthful stories are, the ones that have the more details. And a lot of people with authority are like, oh, the details don't matter. Well, you can put more details in and it still be broad and vague, where it doesn't tell you all the scientific terminology of how, someone could have superpowers if it is a possibility, or it doesn't tell you all the terminology of how the principles of your words have power to speak blessings or curses or positivity or negativity over someone and affect them in a positive way or a negative way. It doesn't, there is probably scientific experiments that you can do to, figure out why a language or an accent has power and others don't. But, it is what it is. So, but hey, someone who wrote the similar versions of the Bible, they were either not speaking with understanding, or they could have been speaking and it got written down somehow, or they wrote it without understanding what they were writing, and because they were drunk, or, I don't know, somehow started, changing things because they wanted to change things for some reason. Who knows what really happened? But it's like, you can't just blindly believe that God loves you if you don't really know who God is, and if you've never seen God and you've never met God face to face. It's just not gonna happen. So, at least for me. So, here's the next Bible verse here. The Lord God made the earth and the heavens, Genesis 2:4. And again, where is the scientific evidence that proves that God made the earth and the heavens? Don't you think there would be some kind of evidence if there's a creator, someone who formed you and designed you in your real mother's womb with the help of your father, that there would be some kind of evidence in your genetics or somewhere where it's like, yes, this is where you came from. This is the original author. This is the original designer. This is the original creator of everyone and everything. There would be some kind of evidence. So literally, I need to do scientific experiments eventually myself. So let's find the ladybugs. No ladybugs there. I'm not really seeing ladybugs on this side. Unless I can't. Nope. The flowers are hiding them. Where are the ladybugs? I don't think there's ladybugs on this one. So, do you see ladybugs anywhere? I think this one, there is no ladybugs. Interesting. Okay, 0 ladybugs. So if you have seen any ladybugs on this 2 pages, feel free to put that in the comment section below. And would you use this book to help teach children the alphabet and how to speak correctly? Do you think this teaches good moral lessons? Because, I mean, literally, it's basically like, blindly follow and believe what I tell you to believe without any evidence. That's what I'm getting out of this. But, I could be wrong. I'm open to God being, the real name for the one who designed you and formed you in your real mother's womb, if it's really true. But I need evidence that is true. And these, to me, are false religions, because they're like, you just need to believe. That's what faith is. Believe, because, You know, you may not need, it's like they're basically saying, here's a religion, you don't need any proof to believe that this is the real religion. You just need to believe it anyways, without proof, without evidence, without even a real two-sided relationship with God or the one who formed you in your mother's womb with the help of your father and the designer of everyone and everything. So I'm not okay with that. Um, so you may disagree. So again, uh, when you read stuff, are you comprehending what you're reading? Are you looking into it in a deeper way? Do you need to be careful what materials you use to teach your children the alphabet and stuff? Do you need to make sure there's truth 100% in the materials when you teach children, because they are so vulnerable and they're like a sponge and they just soak up so much information and they may just like automatically believe whatever you tell them. So it's like, be careful. So so that is kind of my perspective right now. I don't think the authority figures in my life were careful with what they told me and taught me, because they led me to believe a lot of false information. So be careful. So for me, my assessment is no ladybugs this time. Maybe that will change, or maybe they are forgetting to do the ladybug stuff from now on. So we will see. So stay tuned. So hope you like this video. If so, stay tuned for the next one. Until next time.